Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Here we go again. Another start of our tea and toast sessions for the week. Morning, ladies. Are we all right?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Morning, Jess. Morning.
Okay.
So let's quickly go around and we'll all introduce ourselves. Chelsea's left the building already.
She's had enough.
She's had enough. Just that 30 seconds was, whoa, can't do this today.
You know what she's doing? She's doing a Piers.
She's doing a Piers Morgan already. So if you haven't watched any of our tea and toast before, I'm Jasmin. I'm a conversation starter at the Yard. And as we always say, our doors are closed, but we are still open. We do everything online at the moment, but it's closed now. Fingers crossed, restrictions all seems to be going well. Give it a couple of weeks, you're going to start seeing us with a different background because we're going to be in the Yard. I mean, I can't even remember what it feels like to drive into work. This is going to be so bizarre. But yeah, we're really close now. So hoping that everything's, all those steps that Boris put in place she's back, Chelsea's back. Yeah. All the steps are going in the right way, and hopefully we can move with the next, I think it's moving on to the next step of the plan on the 29th. So keeping everything crossed for that, guys. So Georgia, good morning. Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Georgia and I am a conversation starter here at the Yard, and I am always sunshine and rainbows, aren't I, guys?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think this girl ever has an off day. I don't know. I don't know where she got made, but she's very good to me. They did break the mold for sure. We're yet to see an off day with her, but I reckon there's one coming soon. It's got to be. Maybe when we're back in the Yard and she's stropping about the cup of tea that someone's made her because it's not how she likes it or something. Something's going to happen. She can't be this perfect. It's just not right.
Don't threaten me, Jasmin. Don't threaten my tea.
And then moving on to Beth. Morning, Beth.
Hi, I'm Beth. Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Good.
I'm Beth and I'm a master's student on placement with the Yard.
Lovely. And moving down the screen, down to our lovely Laurel. Good morning, Laurel.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm okay.
You're okay. And you're one of our lovely volunteers, aren't you, Laurel?
Yes.
Laurel struggles sometimes with the morning. She's still a bit tired, aren't you, my love?
Yeah.
You're just waking up still.
No, I'm awake now. I just wasn't awake earlier.
Yeah. It takes a while to get going in the mornings these days, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I know the feeling. And last but not least, we've got the lovely Chelsea. Morning, Chelsea.
Hi. I am also a student on placement like Beth.
And Chelsea's been having so many problems with her internet. So we're hoping today you'll be able to stick with us for a bit longer. But if you do see her keep coming in and out, she's not having a strop. She's not had enough of the conversation. She's just got the gremlins going on, haven't you? But fingers crossed today might be the day you make it through one of our whole sessions.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed. We've got a lot of finger crossing going on this morning. We need things to start going well and right, don't we? Definitely. Yeah. I think that's actually at the moment how a lot of people are feeling. Like it feels like a lot of how we're sort of waiting with bated breath for things, aren't we? Like fingers crossed that the plan's all going to go ahead and we can relax the lockdown situation we're in. And do you think
that this is actually how like gods and deities and stuff were created in the beginning? So they, the gremlins, are we going to have to start doing like a morning ritual to like keep the gremlins away? And then do you think that that's like at some point we'll have to get like little models made of like little tiny gremlins and we'll have to like worship them and be like, oh, is this going to be it? Are the gremlins going to smile upon us this day?
That's what I'm
honestly, if it doesn't work today, I think that's what I've got to do.
I was going to say, I don't know. I've never really thought of that.
Create like a little dance for us. Create like a little, how they have like rain dances and things like that to try and like coax the rain over for the crops. That's what you need to do, Chelsea. If you get kicked off this, which you might, let's be honest, then what you have to do is you have to go away, create a dance for us. I don't care if it's mainly arm and hand involved. And then I want you to come to us tomorrow and I want you to tell us what it is. Just
So
nod,
what
Chelsea.
Oh,
Just say, yeah, all right.
let's hope that doesn't happen.
Well, let's see. Let's see. So before we kick off, we've got loads of things to talk about today, and we might not even get through it all. It might even be carried on to tomorrow. But let's do that little icebreaker that we've got, Georgia. So last week, for those of you that are watching, I think we did it on the Thursday, so you guys weren't with us. We did how do you take your tea? You know, obviously with this being tea and toast. And actually went on for quite a long time. So we held back on the toast part. Otherwise, I don't think we'd have had any other conversation about how people take their tea, would we? So here we go. What I want to know this morning is, how do you take your toast? So have a look at the chart and tell me, out of all of them, which would be your ideal slice of toast?
I reckon mine's got to be a solid 5.
Yeah.
I think in the middle. Not too bready, but not too burnty.
Yeah. Beth, what about you?
I'm about a 3. I'm like
Ooh.
in the toaster, out the toaster.
Yeah. Okay, Laurel?
I'm not sure because I like mine just toasted, so I think I'm either 3 maybe or a 2.
Yeah, or maybe even a 2. There's a little bit of...
I'm like Beth, I'm an in and outer with toast. It has to be just toasted and I'm fine.
Yeah. And what about you, Chelsea?
I'd have to go for a 5.
Oh, she's gone. I think. Right. There we go, Chelsea. I expect you to be making a little dance for us.
We want to dance. We want to dance when she gets back. See, I'm in between a 3 and a 4. I'm in between. I definitely couldn't eat a 9 or an 8. 7 at a push. But yeah, I like it just toasted. And if I'm not on a diet, I like to have loads of real butter on it. Can't have real butter in the house very often because I just eat it and it's, you know, it's just not good. But yeah.
What do you eat on your toast? Yeah.
Well, I'll just have I don't very rarely have toast. I don't very rarely have bread because I'm always trying to be sort of lower carb, and I eat gluten free. And I don't know, have any of you ever tried gluten free bread?
No.
Yeah, don't bother because it is not the same. It's honestly, so it makes me, it's just no point having it because it's so disgusting. So the only time, if I'm being really naughty or perhaps if I'm hungover, I'll nick a slice of the kids' bread and have like real toast and real butter, but that's if I'm being naughty. But yeah, on the whole, I don't really have bread.
Either. I have margarine.
Margarine.
I have the old margarine, yeah.
So do you not like butter?
So when I was growing up, I don't know why. So I mean, if my mum's watching this, maybe she'll be able to reveal this like deep family secret. But we never had butter. We always had margarine and olive spread.
I think
it might be like a vegetarian thing.
I think I know why. A while ago, there was also a massive controversy in the medical community and in just the general population about marge and butter. Which one was better for you, and which one caused you less trouble in the past?
Mm-hmm.
So but then
what was it, Laurel?
Well,
what was the answer?
It's changed over the years. It's something they used to say. They keep changing their mind. It's literally what they do. It's because it's because of cholesterol, unfortunately. And cholesterol, if you have too much cholesterol, you have something called hypercholesterolemia, which is a long word to say for the morning. Try and say that when things.
I'm just not gonna try because I don't think I'll be able to.
I'll leave it to you, Laurel.
I'll leave
the big words to you.
It just means that you have a lot of cholesterol in your body, and you're not wanting to have that in your body because you end up with fed up arteries, and you need some.
Yeah, see, like to be honest, when I was younger, my mum and dad used to have real butter. Then they changed to like the utterly butterly, you know, the fake thing, because it was supposed to be so bad for you. And then since sort of like my adult life, and I've been dieting on and off for about 25 years. Then they were saying, no, you need to have like the fake stuff's not good for you. You need to have a little, not too much of the real stuff, but the real stuff's better in smaller quantities. So like, yeah, I guess that's where we've changed what we have throughout the years. So the creator educator, she's a 5 or 7 5 or 7, 8.
5 to 7 or an 8.
What?
Oh, that's no, Sophia.
bad.
Sophia.
That's just charcoal.
Are you? I was going to say, are you margarine or butter or utterly butterly or?
Butter and Marmite on toast. And here's a little tip for me. The homemade gluten-free bread is better than shop bought. I can't make bread. I can't do that. I haven't got
My
time to
partner
make bread.
makes bread all the time.
Oh, what? Yeah, no.
Yeah, my partner makes absolutely amazing focaccia bread,
Oh
which
my
is
god,
like,
that bread.
yeah, and that's like with olive oil and rosemary and like sea salt and everything in it. So good.
Oh, so
Oh,
Sophia said it's cheaper. I made a loaf with a mix, and it was £2 to £3 cheaper than buying a pre-made loaf. Where do you buy these mixes
Wow.
from? Sophia, hit me up with where you get them from. I've never seen. I didn't even know you could do that. Chelsea's gone again.
Yep.
She's had enough of the Marmite and butter talk, obviously.
I expect her to be doing the hand routine like every time she does it. You know.
I didn't notice. Did she do anything when she came back just then?
No, but I don't think she's got the finished article. I think that what she's doing is she's leaving, doing a bit more of it, and then coming back.
She's
and then
practicing.
at the end. Yeah, like at the end, she'll be able to say, right, in that time, all the times that I came off the show, I was doing all that.
Yeah. She's going to have like a Madonna routine done, isn't she?
Yeah,
she's
I
just,
was going to say like Vogue.
Yeah. Look, she's just said, I'm doing my dance. Oh, honestly, yeah. Well, we expect this performance to be very polished by the end of this morning, please.
I'm expecting big things from you, Chelsea. Now
Expectations are high,
very high,
and no pressure. And this goes to anyone who gets kicked out. You have to do a dance when you come back, so just beware. Sophia says she thinks it was Marks and Spencer's. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to have a look next time I go shopping because maybe I need to try that because the bought ones are just rubbish. Okay, so let's move on from our toast discussions and butter and margarine discussions. Are any of you feeling like springtime is coming? Has anyone got that little bit of optimism and that little bit of like spring's on its way? Because I haven't.
Yeah, I do actually, because like maybe not today, but for the last say like few weeks, I think we've had like every weekend there's been at least one kind of decent day where you've been able to go out and have a nice walk in the sunshine. You know, there's like I've seen loads of daffodils. I've seen loads of
daffs,
loads of daffs everywhere. Dilp. Daffodils I'd like to pick.
What?
You know DILF?
No.
You know MILF?
Yeah.
No.
Then you've got
I know what DILF is now. I'd never actually heard of that.
DILF.
So we've now transferred that to daffodils.
Yeah, so daffodils I'd like to pick.
Okay. Something I learned new
That's not the
today.
best thing ever. Sorry.
Oh
yes,
my gosh.
It took me a second there. I was like, damn.
Took you a second. I was like, what is this girl on? What the hell is she talking about?
Dilps. Yeah, dilps. I've seen lots of dilps. Like just bunches and bunches of dilps. And yeah, and lots of birds singing and fishes and all the rest of it. So I actually feel very optimistic for spring. What about you guys?
I think yes and no. Go on, Laurel. You go first.
Sorry, Beth, you can carry on.
I think yes and no, like the same with the daffodils. But I learned something this morning. I was walking my dog with my grandma, and I said, "Oh, those daffodils are lovely there. Isn't it funny how they're evenly spaced out?" Thinking that they just popped up. And she said, "Well, someone planted them." I said, "Oh." So then I was kind of a bit like disheartened, thinking that daffodils were just kind of popping up everywhere. But she said no, somebody had planted them.
So what, you just thought they just appeared, right? Like springtime, they're there. Yeah. I mean, they always do look really lovely where they're put. So I'm guessing, there's been some method behind that madness, hasn't there? Well, learn something new every day.
Yeah.
I was on a dog walk a couple of days ago, and I walked past like a farmer's field, and I did see some lovely little spring lambs. and they were lovely. But apart from that, I don't really, and I've seen loads of daffs and stuff, but I don't feel that spring-like really. And I don't know if it's because I'm sure by this time of the year the weather's starting to get a bit nicer. I mean, when I do the school run, it's still freezing. It's coats, you know, and I'm sure that this time last year we're almost a year to the day when Boris closed the schools, and I just remember that day when he closed the schools, the sun just shone then. So I'm hoping spring, for me, the weather needs to start getting a bit warmer. The kids don't need their coats on the way to school, or at least the way home. I think that's what will make me feel a bit more spring-like. What about you, Chelsea? Are you feeling?
I think so. I think seeing all the different varieties of flowers are actually quite, like, I can't wait till sunflowers are actually like being sold in shops. Like, they're one of the favourite flowers, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, can't wait till it's actually light when you wake up in the morning and stuff.
And it's warm and you don't need the heating on. Definitely. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? You know, all the flowers and the lambs and whatnot. It does make us all feel hopefully a little bit optimistic. And I think with all what we're going through at the moment, we need that little bit of optimism, don't we?
Yes.
So yeah, we do. So yeah, maybe spring is on its way. But then I saw in the diary the other day, it's only a couple of weeks until British summertime begins, and I thought to myself, wow, I didn't realise it was that early. Because
when starts?
British summertime, because the clocks go forward, don't they? What did you think I said?
I thought you said Butch's summertime, and I was like, is there some kind of like a holiday that I don't know about? Who's Butch? I thought Sundance or something like.
I thought you meant butchers, like where you go and get your meat. Like I'm just it's like a full on like burger.
Butch's summertime. All the animals just like, no, it's Butch's summertime.
Well, probably the little lambs do feel like that, because it's probably about that time when we're going to start eating them.
I found out when it is. It starts on the 28th of March at 1 a.m.
Yeah, because that's the weekend the clocks go forward, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So then, like, the weekend that every parent hates, because you lose an hour of sleep and the kids, you know, it doesn't ever work in your benefit. It's worse when it's the other way around and the clocks go back an hour because they get up earlier. But it messes up bedtime, and it takes a week to sort of adjust to that. I don't know, why do we do the clocks forward and back? Why is that?
I sort of remember why, because I did have a conversation a while ago about this. I think it's back when kids used to go and do like farming and mining and things like that, and then because they used to go, and then like in the winter they'd go to school, and in the summer they'd work the farms, so they'd get up for farm work. I think that's what I remember of it.
Oh, okay. It's just a pain going around your house, changing the clocks on everything, and then it takes me like a good few days to work out how to change it in my car, and like it just puts me all out, you know. But it does make you feel. It makes the evening start to get
lighter,
and then we get a bit darker in the mornings to begin with. But then, you know, summertime's coming, and hopefully spring will be here by then.
And starting from, I believe it's next month, the beginning of next month-ish, that we can go outside of our local area.
Yes.
Like officially. So people might be able to go for more like nature walks, and I don't know if you can stretch as far as the seaside, but maybe going for little mountain hikes.
Yeah, well, I know that everyone that I speak to are just really getting bored of we're all walking so much and getting bored of their sort of local walks. It will be nice to just, even if, like you say, it's slightly further afield, just for a change of scenery, because I guess we've all never walked so much in our lives, have we? So it will be nice to do that. And then also from the 29th of March, it's 6 people in a garden. So we need the weather to get better, so that we can actually, because at the minute it's too blooming cold to all be in the garden unless you've got a full-on, like, you know, patio heater and fire pit and whatnot else. It's
when the 29th happens, I'm definitely going around my mate's garden. I'm like, going to your garden, let's sit and we can have a conversation in the garden.
Oh, I know. I've got so many like plans with friends and family in different gardens, and I'm just thinking to myself, please let the weather be okay so we can do it. I don't want it to, imagine if it just rains from the 29th of March onwards. We're like, no. I'll be putting a gazebo up, I'll be doing all sorts. Just so I can see people.
I bet you gazebo sales are gonna rock it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, my mum the other day, she even spoke about buying a patio heater so we can all sit in our garden. And I honestly think people will go and do those things, because if it means that we can start to socialise and see people again, I think it'll be money well spent, you know? Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on from springtime and restrictions and whatnot. We're going to move on to something. So is it this week is National STEM Week?
National Science and Engineering Week is this week.
National Science and Engineering Week. So if you guys watching like me, I have absolutely no idea what all of that is about. But what we are very, very lucky to have this morning is one little expert. She's very, very well read and very knowledgeable, and she's going to tell us a little bit about STEM and what it all means. And that's the lovely Laurel.
Okay.
So what do you want to tell us about? Tell us, what does STEM stand for?
Well, STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering and Maths. So it's any science, any about technology, engineering and then maths. Also, recently in the last few years, they've sort of changed it to make STEAM versions. They've added arts into it, which I'm a little controversial about it, and I don't really like the arts. Sorry, Georgia.
Oh, knife through my heart, Laurel. Oh. Excuse me while I pull this dagger out of my chest.
So that's what STEM stands for. Usually I know in Northamptonshire they definitely do it. They sometimes schools go around or do events in their classroom with STEM ambassadors, and I know sometimes after Corona they used to go to the University of Northampton and do STEM events. Including like they've done like we had when I was at university there, we did like events there, and we included like doing lab sessions and stuff, and they used to do like drama sessions at the old campus on Avenue campus at the University of Northampton. So they've done events for it, but they do quite a lot of focus on girls into STEM, because girls getting into STEM subjects after like GCSEs I'm not sure if it still is, but a while ago it was still quite low in like the STEM subjects. Women getting into it, like getting into science. Now quite a lot of women are getting into science, but still not many women in engineering. I don't think I know many in technology, and I don't know any in maths at all. So still a way to go, because some women just are not interested, and some people are interested, but it's really hard to find anything because it's loads of males doing it.
Male sort of dominated.
I think I'm going to say something quite controversial here. I don't necessarily think that it's that women aren't interested in it. I think it's more so that people equate those industries to men because men have dominated it for so long. And so I think that young boys and, young men are more encouraged to work on their STEM side of things. Like they're more encouraged with science and maths and like all of that. So I reckon that if you had someone from an early age and you gave them the toy cars, you gave, you gave them the trains, you gave them like all these different bits and bobs, I don't know if it would be the same story, because I think that kids would grow up being like, oh yeah, I want to work on trains one day, and be an engineer. Like, I don't think that gender would come into it.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we looked at this because I did sociology as my undergrad degree, and we covered a bit about education and gendered education. And we were looking at the way that teachers influence what young people choose at school. Like, I know for me, all of my maths and science teachers were men, and then my English, art, drama teachers were women. And I think a lot of young people see their teachers in the subjects that they're teaching and be like, oh, well, I'm going to choose to do English language as my future career, because that's what my female teacher's doing. I think that has a lot of influence for
definitely. I'm just thinking back now. Obviously, it's a while ago over my sort of schooling. I just remember always my PE teachers were men.
Yeah.
My PE teacher was a man. All of my PE.
I've never really thought about that before, actually, until you said that, Beth. But yeah, that's actually quite a good point, isn't it? As you're growing up and you're thinking about what you're going to do and looking to the people who teach you what, and I get it. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
But I was different. I actually had a female science teacher. I had 2 female science teachers. So I was both my science teachers when I was in secondary school were both female.
I also think that what we take out of the education process is the joy of it. So I do not know much about science at all. I don't. I didn't pass my GCSE. I really don't know much at all in that respect. But I have a lot of joy for science because I just think it's amazing. So if you share my screen, Jasmine.
Yeah.
So I picked a couple of pictures from the NASA website.
That looks like that's how much. That's astronomy, I think. Yeah,
this is astronomy. So this is a photograph of the Milky Way.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
Do you not think that is that's not Photoshop? That's not a painting. That's an actual photograph.
Yeah.
Of the way that our universe looks. Do you not think that's amazing? I just look at it and I just think it just stuns me. You know? Here's another good one.
I don't really get that feeling. I think, oh, it looks good, but
that's another photograph. That's mad. Look at it.
What is it though?
It's just like the galaxy. It's called something to do with a mountain because it looks like a mountain, like the gas clouds.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's what? And then this is the last one. So this is like an actual astronaut who's actually in space.
Yeah.
Do you know how far away that is?
A long way.
I seem like I can't wrap my brain around it that people are that. We as human beings are so sophisticated and intelligent and all the rest of it that we can actually go all the way up there and then just jam out in space.
Jam out.
Yeah.
Jam out.
I just what they're doing.
He's taking a bloody selfie, isn't he? In space. Oh, he's doing that with darkness around him.
Oh, is that what he was doing? I didn't notice that.
Yeah. He's taking a selfie.
Yeah, I mean it is crazy, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and that's why I think
science is crazy. Science is awesome. Science is fun.
Yes, it is indeed. You don't need to understand it because I think that's where a lot of people get into the pitfalls. I can't comprehend the amount of maths that it takes to figure out how a rocket can do all the things that it can do, yeah? But I can still, from an outside perspective, be like, that is mental. Yeah. So I think I've got the joy for it. I don't need to understand it. All I can do is comprehend what I can comprehend,
Yeah, you don't always need to understand science. I like understanding science. That's why I'm wearing this shirt. This shirt here is about there's ingredients on it, and it's all the ingredients of the human body.
Oh, I love that.
Can you lift it up a bit so I can see it?
So it's the starts.
Oh yeah. Got hydrogen.
That's really good.
Calcium.
That's cool.
Nice. That is very cool. Yeah. What were you going to say, Jasmine? You're going to say you can't.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't do it for me, to be honest. I can look at that picture of the spaceman and be like, that's mental. I can't comprehend getting in a rocket, going to space, all of that. That's it. That's as far as the wow goes. Anyway, next thing, it's just it's either your jam or you're not, isn't it? As you would say, Georgia, it's not my jam.
For me, I'm absolutely obsessed with the human body. Anybody knows me, I'm absolutely obsessed. Everything is just awesome. Some things don't float my boat so much, but still find the body awesome. People like normal. Sorry, people here, if you get offended, I'm sorry. But like normal people just go, oh, my body, I'm just going to throw like caffeine and alcohol and everything.
Me. I'm one of them normal people, Laurel.
It will just fix itself. It'll be fine. I'm like, yes, but it's also very intricate, and there's like certain things that you can't always fix very easily.
Yeah.
I don't think there are many things that don't amaze me, like in one way or another. Like even stuff that I didn't used to get interested by, like in school. So like, you know, like the Kardashians and everything. So back in school, that would have been something that I would not give 1 ounce of a hoot about. But these days, like even objectively, like I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's amazing how they've managed to make themselves so famous and so rich and all the different businesses that they do and whatever. So even though I actually don't really care, like even from an objective point of view, not understanding their, you know, their lives, I can still look at it and be like, wow, that is mental. So basically everything that exists on this planet at some point, I will have said, yes, that's mental. Because that's just I can't particularly think of one thing that I would be interested by in one way or another. UK doesn't.
Oh, do you know what just happened? You made me laugh, so I went like that to laugh, and as I did, I pulled my earphones, and the bit and now it's broken, and then that bit was stuck in my ear then, but it's all right, I've got it out. I don't need to go to hospital. Honestly,
you know what, guys? That's just proven that I'm so funny that I can literally break things. Like I can actually break a human being just from being so hilarious.
I need to remember I've got headphones on.
I've done that.
Don't do that again, Jasmin.
So painful. Like I have like the sponge, like the sporty ones, and they sort of go in right in your ear.
That actually hurt my ear. Then I'm probably going to have like some sort of like ear damage from that. But hey ho,
literally, I've pulled them out.
I just blamed Georgia.
Do you know what? I'll tone it down. I'll turn down my funny meter, so you don't have to worry about that.
This is all a bit much at the minute. The
it's
just unreal.
Yeah. I did actually find some stats on a website I was looking at recently.
Oh yeah, go on then. Tell us some stats, Laurel.
Because I looked some stats in 2017 to 2018, the closest I could find. That sometimes takes a while for statisticians or people that like stats to collect data and make funky graphs with. So in 2017 to 2018, in engineering and technology, the percentage of women that took it or that went into like subjects in that was only 19% compared to guys and boys who took it at 81%.
Wow, that's a big difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then in computer sciences, which is like computer sciences can include coding. Other things it can include are looking at as technically this computer is graphical interface. It can be looking at stuff like that. Other computer sciences are cybersecurity and things like that. So for women in that year, this was looking for UCAS data for students taking it as a degree level, and for them, computer science was the same as well at 19%, which was like 4,526, I think, students, and in men it was 81% again at 19,550 students took it as a degree.
See, this is the thing, that when we were talking to the little people on Monday feels like it was 10 years ago. It was only the other day. We were talking to the young'uns, and I was saying about like how if you want to look after animals, because they really love animals, and I'll say, if you want to look after animals, that's like zoology. It's what a zoologist does, or it's what you study science, because you need to know their biology. So you need to know where their heart is and where their paws are. And they were going, no, I don't want to do that. And I was going, yeah, but that's what you need to do.
Yeah. It's like Mabel quite often, she says that she wants to be a vet because she really, really loves animals. And like, that's the same thing. She would need to know all the biology and all of that, wouldn't she?
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like encouraging that and being like, because if they hear science, they might get instantly turned off because they think of it in a certain way. But if we're like, oh, you know, we can watch Blue Planet or whatever, like that's science. Like even if it's not exactly, you know, chemistry or it's still the kind of science that they need to learn in order to do the things that they want to do, you know? So I feel like encouraging young women to be excited about that is really important.
Definitely. I actually didn't realise that there was such a vast difference between men and women doing those sort of things, you know, those stats. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Like, it's like I picked up coding because then I ended up needing it for something I was doing. And people were like, you're coding? I'm like, yes, I'm learning to code. JavaScript is what I learned. I'm learning to code still now, which runs mostly most Android phones. Good fact. So they're like, you're learning to code. Most coders you think of guys being coders. It's just the stereotype thing. You think coders. Even I did used to think coders of mostly guys, and I've not managed to find many coders that are women still. It's still a bit of a thing.
Wow.
I think the closest coding I've done, apart from doing some like basic website stuff years ago, so I at one point was doing the coding for like small games.
Oh yeah.
See, I can't even remember what the code name was called, like Lua maybe, but that was very complicated. I ended up sacking it in because it was so complicated. Like you don't think it would be, but
coding. I hear the word coding and I instantly just turn that off. Not interested.
Boring. How to make this fun, Jasmin, is on Google. There's a Google Doodles from a while ago. If you search their website, like Google Doodles coding, it'll come up with a little rabbit, and you'll literally, it's like Scratch. It's like a similar relation to Scratch, which is like another thing they use in schools on Raspberry Pis. Raspberry Pi is a small computer you use. It looks like a little socket you can connect it into a computer to make it up to. They use it in schools because I've heard about it. And it literally asks you to move like the little arrow. It'll give you like instructions. It says if you want this rabbit to move, you have to put the little arrow buttons in, and then you have to press the space bar, and you can see the rabbit moving like up the steps, like 2 steps. And then you can like get it to turn around and get it to do other things.
Without coding, Jasmin, we wouldn't have any of the websites we have. We wouldn't have anything.
You wouldn't have this visual interface.
I know.
Talking to us.
We wouldn't have.
I'm not saying it's not a good thing. It's just not my thing. Doesn't float my boat. I'm not interested. I find it sounds boring to me. I'm quite happy for other people to do it, to allow me to have greater technologies, but I don't want to do it. You know, it just doesn't interest me.
But
it's nice though.
For me, I was always like, what?
How can you not be amazed?
I am.
No, I said no. I said no.
The wonder of the mind.
Well, you know, it's great. That's about it. Yeah, well done. Let's move on.
You wouldn't have like games. You wouldn't have anything.
You wouldn't have your phone. You wouldn't have your
phone.
I know all of this. I'm not saying I think it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it doesn't interest me. I'm happy for other people to do it.
You didn't have your phone.
Oh, I'd be lost without my phone for sure. But you know, other people like doing that.
No, I'm not saying you should get a job as a coder, Jasmin. I'm not in any way saying that's what I think you should do.
Never gonna happen.
No, I know. But I'm saying that I think that we have to remember that all these things are mental.
Yeah.
You've got to be appreciative of it, don't you?
Yeah. No, absolutely. The way the technologies have advanced over the years, I often think about if my grandparents were alive today. I mean, just some of the things that we can do, and they just wouldn't believe it, you know. So it is amazing how advanced our technologies are. And I sometimes think, you know, when my kids are older and perhaps I'm a grandparent, what will my grandchildren? Because it's going to all be. Do you know what I mean? I do think about that and think that's mental. It's changing so much.
Jasmin, do you remember BBC Micro?
No.
So no, but
what was it?
BBC Micro was one of the first. It was by the BBC. That's what it's called, BBC Micro.
Yeah.
And it was one of the first like home computers you could have, and you could learn.
Oh, hang on. How many years ago was this, Laurel? How old are you insinuating I am here?
I think about 30 years ago. I'm not really sure anymore.
Oh God, I was only 5. No, not really. I was 12. I was 12. If it was 30 years ago.
I'm not sure how old they are, but I will just quickly look up.
Yeah, have a look for
What
it.
I wanted to say is when we were talking about like women in science and all the rest of it. So I was gonna say a couple of women who I admire
Go on then.
in the STEM universe. So the first one is Augusta Ada King, who is best known for writing the first computer algorithm, and this was in 1874, I want to say. I'm just completely guessing now. It was around that kind of time. 1840s.
Oh, okay,
Wow.
even earlier than you thought then.
Yeah, 1840s. So she created the code. So they obviously didn't have computers like the way that we think of them now. So it was all done on paper.
Yeah, that's mental.
It's gonna blow your mind, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm.
And they had like these really, really, really big machines to
Yeah.
do these like algorithms and stuff. So she did that with Charles Babbage, but she's like credited as like the first computer programmer.
Oh wow.
And she's a woman, obviously, and
That's
this
good.
is in 1840s. So actually paving the way, women.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
it was because her mum encouraged her to focus on her maths, because her dad was Lord Byron, as in the poet, Lord Byron.
Oh, yeah.
So her mum was basically like, don't go into poetry because your dad's a bit
Mental.
mentally unstable, yeah. So she encouraged her daughter to do maths, and so because of that, she then became the first computer programmer, which I think is amazing back then.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Another one is Katherine Johnson, the NASA space scientist, and she was. She was the one who was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2015 for a lifetime of work as a pioneering physicist, mathematician, and space scientist. So they did the calculations that guided NASA's 1962 Friendship 7 mission. She co-authored over 25 scientific papers. She was
papers.
Yeah, and she was a black woman, of course, and a woman. So she was doing this in the 1950s. So of course back then, you know, racial tensions and the things.
Yeah, she was fighting loads of stereotypes there, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So she and her friends were the ones who did the maths for that, which again, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
There was one more. Where is she? Joan Clark, codebreaker and cryptanalyst. Born in 1917 and gained a first in mathematics from Cambridge, but was denied a full degree as Cambridge did not award them to women at the time.
What?
She worked on the Enigma machine, didn't she?
Yeah, that's what I was going to
She
say.
was the only woman to work in the nerve centre of the quest to crack German Enigma ciphers. So because this is Bletchley Park, which is still under secrecy, the full extent of what she did is still not known because they can't divulge that kind of information.
The Secrecy Act of War.
Yeah, the Secrecy Act. My granddad was still bound by the Secrecy Act until he passed away because he worked for the Secret Service in World War II. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if the war's ended or not, you're still bound by Secrecy Act.
Yeah, like even his wife, so my grandmother, who he was with for 60 years, didn't know everything that happened.
Really?
Yeah. But so those are 3 women that I found that I thought were really, really good examples of women in STEM. I didn't know if anyone else had any people that they can think of.
I have one.
No. Go on, Beth.
Go on, Beth.
Mary Seacole.
Yeah.
She really sticks out to me because although people tend to remember Florence Nightingale as kind of, she was the first woman, Crimean War, helping all the soldiers, but Mary Seacole was the same. Because she was black, she wasn't as recognised. She didn't have as much money as Florence Nightingale. I always just think of her when I think of science.
Yeah, there's a whole episode of horrible. There's about 5 to 7 minute sketch on horrible history about. It literally goes. It's like a. I think the sketch is about like Mary Seacole and Florence Nightingale in like this newspaper office with like this newspaper guy, and he goes, tells it how it wasn't. That's how he says it. And he goes and goes. And they like have a scroll about like what they've done each.
Yeah.
Good.
Chelsea, do you have any women in STEM that you can think of?
I think Marie Curie as well. She was
very good one.
Kind of one of the first people to initiate like cancer treatment and things like that, wasn't she?
Definitely. Yeah, that's a really good one. Laurel, what was you going to have a quick look up at? What was we talking about?
Yeah, when the first BBC Micro came out.
Go on. When was it?
1981.
Oh, okay. I was 11. No, I was 78. Hang on. 81?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1981.
Three.
Oh, sorry.
Honestly, you're aging me on this, Laurel. Do you remember it? No, I was only 3. I probably couldn't even talk still or something. I weren't on a computer at that point.
Can you think of anyone, Jasmin?
No.
No one.
Honesty, no. Honestly, I've never heard of the lady that Beth was talking about. I've obviously heard of Marie Curie. I hadn't heard of anyone that you're talking about, Georgia, or anyone Laurel's mentioned. I think I am really, really lacking knowledge in this area because I'm absolutely. Yeah, I've heard of Florence Nightingale, but I can't. But see, this is the thing. See, I would never have thought until this conversation that they come into the bracket of science. To me, she's a nurse, so it's really opened my eyes. I know, but
which is science.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is, my mind frame would have been like putting her in the nurses bracket, but actually, obviously it's science because of knowing all the biology. But what I'm saying is, pre to this conversation, I wouldn't have put her in the science bracket. I would have put her in the medical bracket.
Another good one, Agatha Christie.
Yes, Agatha.
She was a nurse.
Yes.
Wasn't she a writer?
Yeah, but she was initially a nurse in the First World War, I think, which is where she learnt about all of her poisons, and then she became a mystery writer because she knew about all these different
really?
Poisons. Yeah, so people think it was the other way around, but it wasn't. Yeah. It was that she already knew about all these things. Yeah, so when I found that little factoid, I was like, that's okay.
Yeah, that is a good one.
And if you want to, there's an episode of Doctor Who on Agatha Christie. I think it was the person who plays Donna out of
Catherine Tate.
Amelia Earhart as well.
I was just
never heard of her.
The one who flew the plane.
Nope.
Amelia Earhart.
Never heard of her. I've never heard of her.
You need to watch Horrible Histories, Jasmin.
I don't like this sort of stuff. So I think this is where the problem is. I don't like this sort of stuff. It doesn't interest me, so I don't watch it. So I don't have any knowledge. I mean, I don't know
what.
You've got to remember, I didn't go to. It's been about 20. 15. Almost 28 years since I was at school. You're all a lot younger than me. I can't remember that much.
I didn't even learn about half this stuff in school.
How did you learn about it? Because you're interested in it.
Like reading stuff?
Yeah, I don't read stuff like that. I read like stuff that I enjoy. So this is where we have to come to a bit of a thing where this isn't my thing. I don't enjoy it. It doesn't interest me. So the stuff that interests me, probably you wouldn't be able to speak about because you don't have the knowledge. So
I don't know, Jasmin. I'm a woman.
Just because I'm not interested in it and I don't know it. I'm a lot older than you guys, so I have no recollection of anything I learned at school. So you have to just bear that in mind when you're all sort of laughing at me saying, oh my God, 28 years not been in education is quite a long time.
Okay, I'm sorry, Jasmine. I'm sorry.
And also, no, it's fine. And also, I do think if it isn't something that you're interested in, like Laurel, would you probably sit and read any of the books that I read? I like romance. I like a little mystery thing, a crime thriller. You probably wouldn't interest you because you like
read the crime thriller, but not the romance.
Yeah. Now, the things I sit and watch, I watch the Kardashians. I watch every Real Housewives program. I watch Sam and Billy, the Mummy Diaries. I watch all stuff like that. I only get about an hour a day to do something that I like to do. So I'll watch rubbish that you don't really have to use your brain because that's my switch off time. So I guess that's probably why it doesn't interest me. I don't have the time. So do you know what I mean? We all have different interests and preferences, and I think we just need to remember that.
I'm watching STEM stuff half the time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's your enjoyment. I mean, that to me sounds absolutely hideous. I couldn't think of anything worse.
I'm probably quite. I think I'm in the middle of everything. I think
you're quite
I was literally watching the Real Housewives this morning before looking at NASA stuff. To be able to talk about here. So that's like Venn diagram. It's just me standing by myself. Like people who like NASA, people who like Real Housewives, people who like this, people who like that. And then it's just me.
Let's be. That's a bit odd. You're a bit odd, Georgia. You like everything.
Yeah. I'll give everything a go. I'll give everything.
It's not a bad thing. You're a fountain of all knowledge, so it's a good thing.
Do you know what? I am jealous of people like Laurel who just have a specific area that they are just really knowledgeable about and like reading stuff about it all the time. With me, because of the way that I'm wired in my brain, I'm like, oh, I'm going to learn something about ocelots. Oh, I'm going to go read something about architecture. Oh, I'm going to go look at this. I'm going to look at that. So I know like a little bit about a lot, but not a lot about a little.
Like a GP would. There are lots of little bits about everything.
Exactly that. I'm like a GP. If I was a doctor, that's what I'd be. Right. That soon I'm going to get a phone call and I'm going to say, Georgia, can you be a GP? Because you've got the skill set of being able to care about different things at different times. And I'll go, do you know what? I've already got a job. See you later. Hang up on them.
Oh, brilliant. GP Georgia. That's what we're going to call you now.
Yeah, so if the Royal College of Nursing is watching, you can't have me. I'm busy.
It's the Royal College of GPs. General practice it is.
Well, I might start off as a nurse. They might want me as a nurse.
I mean, this has really gone off on a tangent this morning.
They'd be like, she can't walk very well. She has to go around in a wheelchair. She'll be perfect to be running around the hospital in a wheelchair.
Well, at least you can push yourself along the corridors quite quickly.
Oh, I need those sticks, like the ski sticks.
Yeah.
And then if I can just like propel myself along like that, but in the wheelchair, not like just on the floor. I don't want to be just lying on the floor.
That would be embarrassing.
I've got some really, really strange images going on in my head right now. Georgia along a corridor.
You're welcome.
Oh my goodness.
I'll be with you in half an hour.
I mean, your GP surgery could run over quite a lot, couldn't it? When normally your doctor's always late, but Georgia's trying to get from one place to the other. Oh gosh, I don't know. Well, on that note, I don't really know where do we go from here? Georgia's now a GP. We've all established I have absolutely no knowledge in science or medical or this or that. I'm old. Okay. Or anything else. You are?
One day we will do a tea and toast about the Kardashians, and Jasmin will be in her element. She'll be like, right, do you know about Chloe? Yeah, do you know about...
And I'll test all of you lot and see how you like it when you don't know. And then I'll laugh at you, see how you feel.
I'm used to not knowing much. I only know one thing, and I used to university and everything.
You better start reading about the Kardashians, Laurel. You better start reading about the Kardashians. It's all coming.
Can you read exactly what happened for like the trials? Literally, the things I had to read a bit ago was like vaccine or like the trial paper for vaccines. And I read it. I was like, yep. Don't know that. Googled it. Oh, that means that. Carry on. Read like the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're a very clever lady to even be out. I don't think I'd even understand. What I'm reading. I wouldn't understand it. So you're actually very clever to be able to do that, Laurel.
You are.
I think the lesson is today that if you are a Kardashian woman, you can also be a NASA woman. You can be anything that you want to be. If you want to learn more about science, you go ahead. You want to learn more about Caitlyn Jenner and what's going on with Kanye West, then you can find out about that as well. But if you want to learn more, if you want to chat to us, if you want to figure out any of life's big questions, we're not the best people to go to, but we'll try. So
definitely. Right, on that note, I think that's gonna bring us to an end this morning. Well, that was a good old chat this morning. We had so much stuff written down that we were going to chat about, and we didn't even get to touch on it. So some of the bits we'll do tomorrow if you're coming to join us for a chat tomorrow, and if not, I know Beth had something particularly she wanted to talk about. We'll save it for next week, Beth.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll save it for next week so that we do get to talk about it. Anyway, ladies, thanks for a great chat this morning. I really enjoyed that. Don't forget, we've got loads of other stuff going on the yard today. We've got Crafternoon with the Creator Educator. Tomorrow, 10:30, tea and toast again. If you enjoyed it this morning, come and have a chat with us. Or if you want to be on our panel, we're always looking for lovely new faces to come and join us. Drop us an email at theyard@communitycourtyard.org down below. Have a great day, guys. Thank you. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.